Good morning. Welcome to Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. I want to welcome everybody who is joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and Zoom. I want to welcome everybody who's watching now and who's watching at a later now. We're going to get started with our first two community songs. Lift your voice, join in, and sing. Here we go.
I'm so glad somehow I've got salvation now. Keeps the spirit moving in my soul. Every day I find peace and joy in mind. It keeps me singing, singing in my soul. Yes, I'm singing, oh, singing in my soul. When the troubles roll, I sing from morning to night. It makes my blood light. Yes, I'm singing in my soul. Yeah. Now and then something comes sneaking in, then I steal away and I pray. Yes, sometimes through the night comes music of delight, keeps me singing, singing in my soul. Yes, I'm singing in my soul. When troubles roll, when I sing from morning to night, it makes my burdens light. Yes, I'm singing in my soul. Yes, again I'm singing in my soul. When the troubles roll. Yeah.
Welcome back. Appreciate you joining us in song. I want to welcome everyone who has joined us while we were singing on either Zoom, YouTube, or Facebook. And I want to also welcome anyone who is viewing this later after it has been live streamed. My name is Reverend Rafe Ellis, and I am incredibly honored to be the senior minister here at Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. So let me take a moment to remind us of who we are. We are a radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, supportive community that celebrates the very diversity of creation. We strive to live authentic spiritual lives through a practical application of the teachings of science of mind. We engage in sacred practices that uplift our spirit, that deepen our awareness, and that ignite our soul's self-expression. We demonstrate active compassion to ourselves, to one another, and the world. We experience meaningful contribution through giving generously of our time, talents, and treasures. And we actively, on purpose, promote our community and our teachings. And one of the ways that you can join in that spiritual practice is by sharing this live feed or this YouTube feed later on whatever social media platform you play on. And also you can send it through email to people that you think might enjoy the message. And so one of the things that we do every Sunday morning to anchor and to demonstrate our inclusivity is our candle lighting ritual. And we light these candles to celebrate the unity of all people, all faiths, all beings, all life. We light the first candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the ways of primal spirituality. We light the second candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the third candle for Taoism, honoring the path of ultimate reality, the natural way. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the middle way and path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the teachings of Jesus as the path of love, forgiveness, and healing by the presence within. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought teachings, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles of love and law. And we light the 10th candle for absolute inclusivity, affirming and honoring that all are welcome and celebrated here. And we light this final candle, honoring the oneness, the infinity of oneness, as all creation, seen and unseen. And so I invite you right where you are, lift your voice, join in as we sing our next community song. Here we go.
The breath of God is breathing me and resting in the breath of God. I know The breath of God is breathing me and resting in the breath of God. I know that all is well. The grace of God is gracing me and resting in the grace of God. I know that all is well. The joy of God is joy in me and resting in the joy of God. I know that all is well. The love of God is love in me and resting in the love of God. I know that all is well. Breath of God. The breath of God is breathing me and resting in the breath of God. I know that all is well. I know that all is well. I know that all is well.
This is our time for announcements, and we have a lot going on. Right off the top, I want to remind us that we are staying virtual until further notice. We are under a stay-at-home order, and it is important that we honor that. So what do we have going on that you can engage in? On Monday through Saturday, we have a morning meditation and prayer practice that you are welcome to join into. On Mondays, Reverend Sarah Nichols hosts it on Zoom. And on Tuesday through Saturday, I host it, and it is live streamed from Zoom to YouTube and Facebook. The links are available right there on the screen. They're also available in our center's calendar. So please check that out and join us for a daily spiritual practice. On Tuesdays, we have the Actualizing Wholeness discussion group from 4:30 to 6:30. That is on Zoom. It's an incredible discussion group where we simply show up using the dialogue concept established by David Bohm to really enter into allowing ourselves to be informed from the spiritual self, how we can actualize, how we can make real the wholeness that we already are. On Wednesday evening, this is a new offering, from 6 to 7, spiritual activism. Now, if you think for 1 minute that this has anything to do with politics, you are mistaken. It is simply a time where we come together and where we explore how to live an active spiritual life, how to activate the spiritual knowing in this human realm. It really is a time of exploring the both and, being fully human and fully spiritual. So please check out that. All of the information on how to connect is right there on your screen. It's also available on our center calendar. So let's talk about the giving tree. We done good. The amount on the envelope was $3,200. That is the number that came to me that I wrote in the envelope at the top of the tree. And what we actually gave was $3,312. I am so not surprised that we exceeded that. And I just want to thank you. Whatever amount you gave, your consciousness, our collective consciousness, was demonstrated. We are powerful. Thank you. So we have an upcoming class, Spiritual Economics. In our community meeting last week, one of the suggestions was to start with a class on prosperity. And so we're going to start with spiritual economics. I invite you to check out that offering. It starts on February 4th. There are 2 offerings, a daytime class from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and an evening class from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. The early bird registration is $205 if paid in full by January 28th. The regular fee is $245, and that can be paid in full between January 28th and February 4th. And if you need to make installments, we've got a plan for that too. You have to pay $70 up front by February 4th, and then you can pay $30 each week before each class starts. I also want to continue to remind you that I am open to doing other classes as you tell me they will feed you. So whatever topic is of interest to you, please let me know. Email me at rafe@sierracenter.org, and I will find a class or create a class that addresses that. We can do some shorter classes because not everybody wants the long 8 to 10 week certificated class. So we can do some shorter 2, 3, 4 week classes that really are just about lifelong learning. And so the options are endless. Just reach out, let me know what's of interest to you, what will feed you and support you spiritually during this time, and we will make that happen. I want to thank everybody who returned their annual pledge, and I know some of you are still working on that. Get those in. Whenever you get them in, it is never too late. All right. So thank you so much. Again, all of our information is on our newsletter. If you're currently not getting our newsletter, please let me know you would like to get that. The best way to do that is to email me again at rafe@sierracenter.org. Give me your email address and a simple statement that says, please add me to the newsletter, and then I can do that. Thank you. So this is our time of inward shift. And I invite you just to let whatever distractions are in your immediate physical area to fall away. Allow yourself to focus inward to that divine, perfect space within you that knows. Enjoy the meditation. Our practitioner this morning, Deborah Ellis, will bring us out of the meditation with our opening spiritual mind treatment, followed by reading of our affirmation. Enjoy. This morning's contemplative reading comes from the Science of Mind magazine, Daily Guide, January 10th, 2021, written by Reverend Dr. Margaret Stortz. However secure and steadfast some things may seem, there will always be movement, change, one touch touching another, form that is leaving, form that is coming. The great mountain that stands in the distance will one day transform and become something we may not even imagine. Certainly, we know enough history to be aware that no matter what, nothing lasts forever. We don't even have to go that far into our imaginations to know that we enter into passages every day. Many of us are aware that some of the relationships we so loved and counted on have moved on, and we are left with memories to cherish and days to reinvent. However, with the losses of change also come the opportunities to take the healing of mistakes and the renewal of what lies ahead. We can truly make an open place in us for some surprises, or we can mentally remain in the same mold that tomorrow will look a lot like yesterday. Curiosity, I would think, would eventually push us out of the past and into an interesting unknown, which is probably a good thing.
Allowing your next breath to be a little bit deeper than the one before. Breathing in the oneness that is present right here and right now. There is only one life, one power, one presence, one universal intelligence that is articulating and reigning supreme in and through and as all of creation. It is the heartbeat, that collective heartbeat of all of life, present everywhere. It is simultaneously creator and creation. It is my life. So it is from this place of truth that I joyfully speak a word of blessing for this service today, claiming and affirming that this light, this point of light that interconnects all of life is present right here and right now. It is that heartbeat that is expressing wholly, completely, and perfectly. It is with great joy that I claim and affirm that all of the divine activity and every divine idea that is being expressed, being thought right now is this one knowing itself exquisitely, perfectly, wholly, and completely. And I claim that the activity of the teachings of science of mind are expanded and known and embraced and embodied within this community. Every offering, every class, every possibility to explore more deeply the truth, the spiritual truth of life, known in many expressions, as demonstrated through our candle lighting service. I'm so grateful to know that this is happening right now, and that people are rising up, expressing as this one in unity, in love, in all of the messiness of life. That there is this thread of love that pulls us through that needle. So thankful, so grateful to speak this word this morning. And so I simply now just release into that activity of love and law, knowing that it is happening right now, that it is done as it is believed. And I let it go, and I let it be, and so it is. Good morning, beautiful people. My name is Deborah Ellis, and I am privileged to be one of your licensed practitioners here at the Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. So thankful and so grateful to serve here in this community and beyond. And so now, and welcome wherever you're watching from, whether you're watching with us while we're live streaming or you're watching later, just know that you are so welcome here, and we're glad you're here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read the affirmation, and it's really quite simple today, and I'm going to read it once and then we'll read it together. Today, I am forever one with all life. Here we go. Today, I am forever all one with life. And so it is. Blessed be.
If God had a name,
Let's take a breath together. This morning, we are continuing our new annual theme, Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. And the talk title for this morning is Grounded Beyond the Beginning. And in so many ways, that is a perfect message for what is happening in our physical realm. Because this idea of being grounded beyond the beginning is really calling us to know that we are grounded beyond this physical form. When we think of the beginning in this human realm, we think of the Big Bang. We think of physical form. We think of evolution beginning at that point where form was established. And being grounded beyond the beginning is calling us to be grounded in first cause, to be grounded in the spiritual self. All week long, I've been remembering our time with the book of Esther. For such a time as this, I am called to be here. And so are you. It's interesting to me, or more accurately, it is not lost on me, that the events that happened in the United States, in the District of Columbia, at the Capitol building, happened on the day of Epiphany. I think many of us are having an epiphany. Our spirituality calls us to be both fully human and fully spiritual, to live in this world and never to be of this world. To live from that inner place within us that is the divine self, the source, the truth of us. And in this earthly experience, we are in such a brilliant time of human evolution. A time where timeless wisdom is making itself known through the evolution of humanity. I want to go back to the book of Esther for just a moment. Now, many of you have seen a lot of the footage in the media of different things that happened. One of the things that happened was those that gathered erected a gallows with a noose hanging from the middle of it. And admittedly, that's hard for me to even get out of my mouth, because the human me is horrified that that still lives in the hearts and minds of any human being. But I go back to the book of Esther. Chapter 7, the end of chapter 7 in the book of Esther. where, very briefly, we're dealing with that time where Esther, at the urging of Mordecai, stood up and dared to tell the truth of her, dared to be authentically her, recognizing that if I speak up, I may die, and if I am silent, I surely will die. And so she spoke up. And King Xerxes honored that. I believe it's in Matthew chapter 11 where it talks about, let them who have ears hear, let them who have eyes see. And King Xerxes heard what was really going on. And Haman, who was the one driving this push to assassinate people unlike him, to obliterate them from society, erected a gallows right beside his house. And his plan was to hang Mordecai. And in the end, this is what happened. Look over there. There's a gallows that Haman had built for Mordecai, who saved the king's life. It's right next to Haman's house, 75 feet high. And the king said, hang him on it. And Haman was hanged on the very gallows that he had built for Mordecai. Now, the lesson in that for all of us is that the very thing that we create to destroy someone else will destroy us. There's no way around it. I am no way advocating that anyone who erected that gallows be literally, physically hanged on it. What I am acknowledging is that that has already happened. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally. The very hatred that drives hate behavior destroys the one who hates. It's just part of the process. The good news is there is redemption. And redemption simply means to redeem, to cash in. And so any one of us can redeem our wayward thoughts. We can redeem our unconsciousness for consciousness. Anytime we choose. One of the things that I'm personally doing as a personal spiritual practice this year is the 365 days Richer Living Daily Inspirations, written by Dr. Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. And I have a Facebook group, and every day I post the one for the day. The one for today is divinely perfect. And I want to share this with you. I have a spiritual vision within me which beholds a perfect universe. One of the quotes that's associated with this comes from Revelations chapter 1, verse 8, which says, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty. Now, what that's telling us is this grounding beyond a physical beginning is here. It's always been here, and it is making itself known. That's the timeless wisdom. It goes on to say this. This is the reading for the day. Spirit as absolute cause in the beginning and end of everything is the beginning and end of everything. If we place complete reliance upon this Spirit as being the adequate cause, then we may as certainly place complete reliance upon it. It is producing the desired effect. When we give a spiritual mind treatment, we are using this absolute cause, which is the Alpha. From it automatically proceeds the effect, which is the Omega. So let's stop there for just a second. We, in our human we-ness, our human form, do not create the effect. We activate cause. We set in motion the invisible. And the activity of law, the soul of creation, makes it so. We are part of that. Recognize that we're in form, folks. We are an effect of divine consciousness. Divine consciousness is in us. It is at our disposal. We are using it non-stop. But let's be really clear. Our human self is effect. It is our spiritual self that is cause. Will we begin to live from that? Let's keep reading. Thus, the treatment contains the potential possibility of its own answer. Did you catch that? Of its own answer. Jesus said, "The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit, and they are life." He knew that because he consciously dealt with first cause, there would be no question about the effect. If we are treating for the divine to be revealed, then we should have no question that that is exactly what is happening. What we can't do, folks, stick with me here. What we cannot do is demand the form that is expressed. What we activate is divine cause. Our third step is one of realization. The first two steps, we recognize what the infinite is. The second step of our affirmative prayer, we recognize that we are unified in it, with it, as it. And then in that third step, we speak that into being. We have got to get beyond our human wish list. And we have got to get about the business of revealing the divine nature of creation. We have got to be about the certainty of what it is. The wholeness of it, the completeness of it, the perfection of it. We have got to develop our faith muscle enough to trust that it knows exactly how to manifest itself. Our privilege, our duty, our opportunity is to speak it into being. Let's keep going. Our lesson says that a lack of the realization that there is but one final power has given rise to the belief in many gods. Some of these gods we call evil, lack, want, limitation, pain, death. These false gods must be deserted, for there is but one, which is truth's self. We are told that while we cannot behold the invisible presence with these physical eyes, the divine eye I give unto thee. This is an identical meaning with the saying of Jesus that spiritual things must be spiritually discerned. And so what we're being called to again is to know truth. Facts matter in this human realm. Let's be clear. Facts absolutely matter in navigating this human realm. But they have no place in the divine realm. Because facts are effects. And the divine is pure. The divine is truth. Here's the difference. Facts change. As situations change, as perceptions change, facts change. Truth is unchangeable. Truth is changeless. And it is from that invisible, changeless truth that we heal. Right in the midst of the insanity, in the rage of our human horror, we have to know the truth. In our teachings, we say Jesus is the great example. So let's look at the example for Jesus for just a moment. Let's go back to the money changers in the temple. Jesus was enraged. He was enraged at a behavior. He was enraged that God was being defiled. He was enraged at the misuse of spiritual principle. He never, he didn't condemn the people. He condemned the behavior. He didn't assault the people. He interrupted the behavior. He turned over the tables. He ran them out of the temple. And in the same breath, he reminds us that the Father lives within you. Truth lives within you. We've got to get beyond this idea that we live in an either or. Because folks, we live in a both and. We are purely spiritual beings having a holy human experience. We are both and. And we are being called to stand in the truth of our divinity and interrupt the behavior that defiles the truth. We are being given every opportunity to evolve in alignment with principle. Will we have the courage to do it? Now, I don't know what yours is to do. Most days, I'm figuring out what mine is to do. But I do know this. There is no place to hide. I want to double back to Esther as I wrap up. There is no place to hide in the kingdom. There is no place to assimilate and enjoy the earthly benefits of privilege without being complicit. Because just as Mordecai pointed out to Esther, you can be silent, but eventually the truth will come out. And the truth of you, the essence of you, the authenticity of you will be known. And you will die for having lied about it. And if you speak up, you might die, but you will live having claimed the truth of you. The final portion of the reading for January 10th says this: I have a spiritual vision within me, which beholds a perfect universe. Daily, this vision guides me to success, happiness, prosperity, physical and mental well-being. My spiritual vision is open. I am awake to the greater possibility. My question to you this morning, is that true about you? Is your vision open? Are you awake to the greater possibility? Because here's what I want you to know. We can stand right in the middle of the chaos. We can be enraged at the human level. We can allow our human hearts to break open to a greater level of compassion. And we can allow ourselves to be guided by spiritual vision based in timeless wisdom that evolves as our human behavior and experience. Let's take this into prayer. And so in this moment, in this precious, precious moment, I allow myself to feel the full impact of my humanity, as I know with absolute certainty that there is one infinite power, one infinite presence, one invisible substance beyond the beginning of form. It is that which out of form is made. One consciousness, one perfection, one love, one breath, one life. This is my life. It is life living itself in the form, in the physical manifestation of this person that I know as me. Never limited by this form. I claim it. I redeem the physical me to its guidance, to its manifestation of itself. And so I speak my word, recognizing that the Word is the infinite. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And so when I say I speak my word, I am yielding the human part of me and allowing the word of the infinite to speak as me. And so I speak my word, claiming and affirming that humanity is revealing the truth of being, the truth beyond the physical, that the grounding in consciousness that we are. That God itself, Spirit itself, the divine itself, truth itself, by whatever name, is moving itself into manifestation, is evolving this thing called humanity into a greater form beyond what we can even imagine. And so I let go of any idea of what it looks like. And I allow myself to simply be guided to be it. To see the divine in every physical manifestation. To no longer be fooled by behavior. To no longer be fooled by the pain of the anguish of my broken heart. But to move beyond that, to know that God is God today and God is always God and God is having its way. No matter what it looks like. That God is moving itself into being. And everything unlike that is being moved out of the way for a revelation, a realization of truth. I celebrate. I allow the joy that knows beyond knowing, that I don't have to know. Because something within me knows. It's something within me. That invisible essence knows. And it is that which is manifesting itself in form. Whole, perfect, and complete. Divine perfection. And so I celebrate. I celebrate. I celebrate. And so I let go, knowing it's already complete. Knowing it's already done. I let go. I let it be. As I say, Amen. Shalom. Aho. Ashe. And so it is. Take a breath with me. We got this. God is revealing itself as you, as me. God is fully present in all of this. Dare to know that. And dare to be present with all of your human discomfort. Let's take another breath as we transition to our time of intentional giving. So if you were here with me, this would be our time where we pass the offering basket. And so we have a virtual offering basket. You can find it on our website, www.sierracenter.org. Go across the top, you'll find the Donate tab. I invite you to engage in the spiritual practice of giving this morning before it gets off your radar, to actually go there if this has been meaningful to you, if you are called to support the continuation of this ministry called Sierra Center for Spiritual Living, then I ask you to give, and to give generously. We completely depend on your support to continue to function. And so let's say our giving, our prosperity affirmation together. It's coming up on the screen now. Here we go. I give this gift with love and joy from a consciousness of abundance. Divine love blesses and prospers all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Thank you for the gifts that you have given, are giving in this moment, and are going to give. Thank you. And so as we shift into closing our service this morning, just want to remind you that there's lots happening. There's lots of ways for you to engage in spiritual community. And what a blessing that we have opened up beyond our walls. And now there is, this virtual world. So we are no longer bound by time. We're no longer bound by space. Check out the calendar. I went in, I updated everything on the calendar. So all of the links, everything is there. Even the stuff that's offered on a love offering basis, you can log in. We'll give you the link for the love offering at the end of it, just like we do here for the offering. What's important is that you engage. Know that you're not doing this alone. Don't do it alone. We need each other. We need spiritual community. And so I invite you, I encourage you, join in. So now we're going to wrap up with our closing song. Let's work together. Take this in. I'll be around after the service on Zoom to chat, to connect. I hope you'll stay. If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, jump on over and join us on Zoom. I'll hang out. One of the things that folks had asked for was some tutorial on how to get a better experience out of Zoom. Let's do that this afternoon after the service. Let's work together. Here we go.
One, two, three, four. Together we'll stand, the fire will fall. Come on, people, let's get on and put together. Come on, let's put together. Because together we will stand, the light is part of the plan. always a pain.